success. I don't flex, I'm success. I don't flex, I'm success. Effortless, see I got it. I don't flex, I'm success. I don't flex, I'm success. I don't flex, I'm success. Effortless, see I. When you want it, that's a lie. When you want it, non-stop. I'ma give it to you when you want it, that's a lie. I make the man say, wow.
To another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther III, and man, Ringside crew, I am absolutely honored to have this woman on the podcast. She has done so much for the independent wrestling scene in Germany, and if you don't know her by now, I think you're going to be much more excited and more known about wrestling. Introduce yourself to my American fans.
Hi everybody, it's me, Jazzy Gabert from Germany. Some people know me also as the Alpha Female. I had my great career in Stardom in Japan, and I had a little stint in WWE. And now I'm building an empire here in Germany with my own promotion, Zero Sports Entertainment.
Wow, that's amazing. So let's go back for you when you first started. How long did it take you to find the training facility that you worked under?
I was born in Berlin and I was raised like in Bavaria, but then moved back to Berlin. And fortunately, there was a wrestling school, the GWF. They were really successful in Germany and Berlin. And I found a school and I could go there when I was like 18 years old. That was in 2001. First, because back in the days, it was not that easily to train as a girl. They didn't want to train girls. So I had to, do a lot of I had to convince them. I said, hey, I will train just as hard as the boys. I will not cry and I will not make a drama. So then eventually they accepted me, and I trained like the boys. Like, they didn't make any excuses. They didn't say you can do the push-ups on your knees. No, you have to do it just like the boys. And if you get hurt, well, then don't cry. like suck it up, basically. And this kind of training made me to go this way that I actually went.
Wow. That's crazy because there's a lot of training facilities now that it's hard to say because nowadays when it comes to women's wrestling, there's so many opportunities within wrestling. And I know for you being in Germany back in the day, I guess there was not a lot of, like, you could say probably there was not a lot of women's wrestlers that were doing matches. Did you find it hard to promote yourself back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day, I mean, we didn't have like the internet that we have now. Like, we had the beginning of MySpace, so we still had to write letters and stuff. And it was difficult because, again, back in the day, there wasn't so much female wrestlers, and also there wasn't so much money, and the promoters weren't willing to put us on the show because they said nobody wants to see female wrestling. So in training, we were like three girls. It was Blue, Nikita, and Wesna. And basically the first 5-6 years, I only wrestled them. So it was always the same match. And of course, it gets boring. But on the other side, we were so grateful. And so, yeah, we took every opportunity to make a good match. And I mean, we kind of opened the door for other girls. And yeah, so I'm happy. But also, I wish that the female wrestlers these days, they remember, or they look back and say, hey, you know what, we have a really good time at the moment. Like, there's so much wrestling at the moment and we can go everywhere, and there's so much training facilities, like we could only go to this one, and if we don't like this one, like we couldn't go anywhere else, so we had to make it work somehow. So these days, I think the girls should be really grateful that they have so many opportunities.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, do you remember who your first opponent was?
Oh yeah, it was Blue, Nikita, and Wesna. So it was like a double event, and it was a three-way. And it was like the first match was a three-way with them, and the second match was also a three-way, but it was like a hardcore match. I got like a chair on my head. But yeah, it was again the next 5 6 years. It was only them to wrestle them.
Wow. You said you did time in Japan. What was it like to be in Japan? What was it like to be training in Japan?
It was insane. I went there 2012 and I watched a documentary I can really highly recommend. It's a very old one. It's called Gaia Girls, and it shows a young girl who wants to be a wrestler and how much, yeah, how much pain she suffered, mental pain, but also like physical pain. And I watched this documentary and I never wanted to go to Japan. I was so terrified. I said, like, I'm not strong enough, I'm not tough enough to go there, but there was not much opportunity in Europe. You couldn't really make money with it. WWE and the other were not really interested. So it was for me the best way to go there. And they invited me. So I was like, okay, I will take a chance. And I flew all the way over there. It was 16 hours with the flight. And I was super tired. And I was kind of hoping to go to rest a little bit, but they, from the airport, they get me right to the training, and then I see Mayu Iwatani on someone, and she was like punching in training. It was training, but it was like a match. She was really hard on her, and it was just like I watched the documentary, and I was so terrified. I was scared, and but I said, I have to do this. Like, I have to be brave. And the training was intense. We had like 4 hours training every day, many bumps, many punches, many stretching, weight lifting. So it was very intense, but it made
Mm,
me the wrestler that we are. And if you look to Japan, Marigold and Stardom, they have the best wrestlers on the planet. So the
yeah,
training is definitely hard, but it's also worth it.
awesome. Do you like have any like highlights for any matches, like the days of any shows or anything like that?
If I have
Like
highlights from the
any
matches,
story. I said the question wrong. Do you have any like stories, like fun stories from the ring from in Japan? Like any fun stories from it leading up to a match or anything?
well, I would say there are a million stories, and it's always like, which one I tell. But it's different. Like I don't know, like which one I'm telling you about, like fun story. I mean, in wrestling in Japan, it's so serious. So believe me, it's not fun at all.
Jeez.
But yeah, my personal thing is always like I knew what was going on and everything, and before the match. And again, when you see me in the ring and me as a person, it's completely different. Like if I tell you I was scared and you watch my matches, you would never ever guess. And it was always, yeah, I remember one thing. Yeah, I will tell you about that. It was like a tournament, and I won the first match, so I had to do like the main event. But the match before the main event, there was two girls, and they were killing it. They were so good, and they did like also like a really long match. I'm thinking like 20 or even 30 minutes, and
Wow.
and they do moonsault and dives outside and all these smooth. And I'm watching it like from backstage. I'm watching it on the TV, and I see my opponent Nanae Takashi. She came over. She's like, "Jazzy, what's wrong?" I'm like, "They're so good. Like, what can I show after? Like, I can only maybe take a gun and shoot each other. That would maybe
Mm,
top." So I said, "I can't go out there afterwards. Like, what the hell? Like." But she said, "Don't worry, Daijobu, everything will be fine." And then we went out there. We also did our match. I'm a big girl. I have like these big girl matches, and that's different than the smaller girls. So it's still something different for the fans. It's still an experience. But I was like, I cannot keep up with these girls. They're so good. And then how can I follow up with my match? But I did it. I made it.
awesome. So who made your gear?
Well, I came up with an idea, and then I just contacted people. So it's always different people. And sometimes it's, like the person around the corner who's doing like this kind of job. And then I ask her. So it's different people.
Okay. Um, how many times a day do you actually train? Because a lot of people have like different schedules and stuff like that. Because real life, wrestling life, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was different. Like in the first 5 years, I trained 3 times a week for 3 hours each time. And then when I was in Japan, we trained every day. And then I also did like MMA because I wanted to really get better. So we did like every day 8 hours. I have a wrestling school here, and we train also 3 times a week. So it's really necessary to go regularly. It's also for the body because taking the bumps and everything that hurts and your body needs to recover. But if you recover too much and then you get every time fresh in it, it's just too hard. So if you stay consistent and doing the bumps like regularly, it's much better on your body.
Awesome.
Like even if it hurts, like even if you have like a muscle pain, you still need to move. And that's also like I every time I tell the people when I have like a muscle pain because they train so hard, don't rest. Like rest is the worst thing you can do. You have at least do like jogging or walking, but don't lay down when you are in pain. You have to do the opposite.
Yep. What was it like to be in that women's tournament they did a few years ago with
You mean
WWE?
that WWE Mae Young Classic? Well, that was also like I did MMA because I wanted to go to WWE, but I was over 30 already, and they said people who are over 30 they can't learn anything new. So I started MMA. So I was in training. I had like these huge muscle. I looked really muscular, and then I heard that there's this tournament. And I was like, please, I want to be on it, please. But of course, you cannot just call them and say, hey, I want to do. But then 2 weeks before everything like started, they called me up. They said, hey, are you free? And I said, yes. And I was actually the first who got announced. So that was also, I think I was the last they called, but the first they announced. And it was a huge honor. There were so many amazing, talented female wrestlers on it. And it was something new and nobody knew, like, will the fans accept it? Will the fans come and be interested? And it was like, yeah, it was a huge honor with the female wrestlers on the card, but also my match. It was one of my most favorite matches I ever had, and altogether, it was such an amazing experience.
Wow, awesome. You've actually faced one of my former guests, La Katrina. What was it like to get in the ring with La Katrina?
Yeah, La Katrina, she's a German lady. She is in south of Germany, and she works for Championship of Wrestling. And I had many matches with her. I also had a lot of training with her, so I saw her growing. And yeah, I'm really impressed with her hard work.
Awesome. So now you're the coach. So what does it feel like to watch these young, talented young people come in as just with bright eyes that, oh, I could be like, oh, this and that. What does it feel like to be the coach that building the future, molding the future of independent wrestling?
Yeah, it's totally different than everything I did before. I have to be honest. I mean, it's not that the people come in there and say, "Hey, I want to be a wrestler." The girls, for example, they're afraid, they're scared, and then you have to build their confidence. The boys on the other side are really confident, like, "Hey, I want to be a wrestler," but then you think, "But you can't do a forward roll. Let's train the basics first." And you can see their frustration, but on the other hand, you also can see how they improve. But also the confidence is so little improving because I think also my training is very hard and I have high standards. And then to motivate them all the time, but also push them. Like I'm doing, like I did in Japan, we do 1,000 squats, we do 1,000 push-ups, 1,000 sit-ups. So I'm not going easy on them. And then it's like a balance to help them not quit, but to believe in themselves, but also not to be too confident. Like if they don't, because they have so much respect. But if they would ask me, hey, can I have a match on your next show? And I would say, you really think you're ready? I will show you you're not. And then I would crush them. But on the same time, again, I want them to be confident and one day step in the ring. But I really, like, I have a high standard. I really want them to be prepared for everything. I mean, you never know who you're facing, right? And I want them to be prepared for everything that could face them. This is still a hard business, we have a lot of egos in this business. And also, you never know if a fan, runs into the match or something, like something silly, right? And I just want them to be prepared as good as possible. And I want to be a proud trainer mama, but I have really cool students, so I'm really happy for them.
Is there any male or female wrestler that's in your school right now that you would like to mention? Because I know one of them. She's a cowgirl.
She's a
I've
cowgirl,
seen her
yeah.
pop up on my Instagram a lot. I follow her.
Yeah, yeah.
seems like she's gonna be like a bright star.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
hope
I've
so. I
seen.
mean, again, we need to go everything slow, right? Like she already has merchandise, she already has people asking her for doing interviews. Well, we need to slow down a little bit. Like she had her first match last year, and she came to me when she was 15. So then we trained, and it was also like for me, is it right to train a 15 teen years ago, for me personally it's like a little girl, right? And I don't want to hurt her, I don't want her to have pain, but at the same time wrestling is a really tough and physical sport, so you need to push them. But seeing them grow, it's amazing. And then she had a debut against me, um, and then she had a match against one of my trainers. That was also, I was so impressed, and I was also impressed how the people react to her. And of course, there's a lot she needs to learn. For example, interacting with the fans, but that will come with time, right?
Yeah.
But then the other day, she had a match with two other girls, and she never trained with them. So I was like, how this will work out? And then they told me the match, what's going to be, and I was like, in my mind, but I didn't tell her, of course. I was like, oh, I hope she can do it. And what if there's something, not going right? How she react? And I'm really scared of the first injury and stuff like this, right? You need to. So she's really like all of my trainees. They're really near my heart, and I don't want him to, yeah, to happen something. So I try to prepare them a lot. But she's really good. Like she presents herself really good. She's really respectful. This is the most important for me. Like if you're not that good in the ring, at least you're like a decent human being and you have respect. And yeah, she's doing well. She's 17 now. She has 5 matches already.
Wow.
She has merchandise. She also had like a side quest kind of. We had like a Halloween show where she had to do like like some Halloween wrestling. So yeah, I personally think she's in a very lucky space because now everything is so fast, right? Like you can go so fast out there, but on the same time it's really difficult because if you do one mistake, and I mean with 17 it's so easy to make mistakes, right? You can also
Yeah.
ruin your career. So it's good that we have this internet, the TikTok and stuff, but you can say just one stupid word and then everyone cancels you and all your hard work is gone. So it's tricky, these times are not easy. Like I'm happy, maybe, I mean, I wish I had a little bit more easy, but I'm happy that I came up like in the 2000s when there was not so much internet. Because right now, look, for example, when I wrestled, I was going to France and we didn't had any cameras, so we can try a little bit. We can, fuck up some matches, like if the power bomb or whatever is not really working well, whatever. No one, no, only the fans saw it. But now everyone has a camera, and then they say, "Oh, she's not a good wrestler because she fucked this move up." But everyone makes mistakes, and you learn with mistakes, right? So
Yeah.
it's a difficult time for the young wrestler, but it's also a good time because you can stand out so much more. You just need to do your homework, go on TikTok all the time, promote yourself on the social media. So it's good and it's bad.
Yeah. I completely agree. When me and my former co-host started this podcast, we did mistakes. We had glitches with the camera
Hmm.
and like and now look at me. I'm interviewing you. You're one of the people like I've been wanting to work with for like 5 years. And as I told my parents yesterday, I was like, that that big whale has been circling the dudes at Ringside boat for a while, and I finally put the net out, and you're like, nah, I don't need a net. I'm coming in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Invite
see,
doors open. I'm coming in.
but if you have like a hater or something, he will take out all your mistakes and bloopers, and then will say, "Hey, look at them." So it's difficult. Like let's try to have only supporters and no haters.
Yeah, yeah. Would you ever come back to the United States to do on like a tour? Because I know there's a lot
Oh,
of wrestlers
definitely.
overseas. They come
Definitely.
overseas and they're like, I like it here better. If
Definitely, I
anybody
would
in the
love
chat has
to.
any questions, you could ask the questions to our guest if
Oh
you
yeah,
want
yeah.
to.
If the chat has any questions, please. We like to hear your thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
no,
have a
I would love.
young podcaster actually in the chat. He's from Canada. He's a very nice guy. He's very sweet, young. He's young. He's even younger than the cowgirl.
Oh
He's younger than
really?
her.
Oh, thank you for your work, then.
he's a good kid. He's another good. I call my young podcast Padawan. he's, he's
Okay.
he's learning from me.
But that's the way how you learn, right? So it's
Yeah,
amazing. He has a good chance to learn. Yeah.
yep.
No, I
Um,
would love to come to America. I even had like a request for autograph signing. So yeah, I would love to travel more. I don't know if you saw it, but I had a restaurant and I was kind of, like chained to the restaurant. I had to be there every weekend because that was when the most people came. But I missed my freedom. I was like, no, man, I'm a girl from the streets. I need to go out there. So I closed the restaurant a few months ago, and now I'm free again and I can travel more again.
yeah, it's good to have a restaurant, but sometimes it feels like, as you said, you're handcuffed and you can't go away. I love food. And you said you had a restaurant. I'm a big foodie. I work in a restaurant, so I work in a kitchen. So what kind
Okay.
of food was your restaurant like? What kind of foods did you guys specialty in?
We had an Italian restaurant, but I wanted to have a German restaurant, but it was so hard to get workers. But we had the best pizza in town, I can tell you.
Ooh,
And it was like a wrestling restaurant, so I had like everywhere the wrestlers, and the food was named after the wrestlers. I had everywhere like pictures of the wrestlers, and I had upstairs there was the ring where we were training. So when the people were finished with the food, they also went upstairs and take a look at the wrestling. So it was pretty cool actually, and well, it was not too bad, but I couldn't find any workers. And then, yeah, it was just too much.
now I'm jealous because I live in Pennsylvania, and that would have been like such a cool thing to be like, "Hey, ma, we're gonna go out to dinner tonight. I'm gonna pay, and we're going to a wrestling restaurant. No,
Right?
we're not going
It
there.
was
No,
so
you can't
cool.
come."
Yeah.
My
And
mom would have
and
yelled at me. My dad,
and
there's
some
pizza. There's
yeah, and
pizza. It's
sometimes
Italian food.
we learned upstairs, we learned like the forearms, and then we went downstairs with the students and said, hey, look what we learned. And then we were like punching each other, and the people like, what's going on? Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Dad, we get a dinner in the show. No, Dad, you don't want to watch wrestling as you're eating pizza? Come on, please,
Yeah.
just for one time. Um,
Yeah.
awesome. Um, I notice like sometimes you wear like pink sometimes, and I notice you also wear red. Is it like is that like you have a flip flop color scheme with your colors,
No,
or
no, it's always pink, and I have also, if you maybe saw it, I have pink eyeballs. I had a tattoo, and my gear is also pink. It's magenta pink. But maybe on social media sometimes it's not so, the colors. But I also have like normally pink hair, but for Christmas I wanted to be serious because I want to have more Christmas presents.
yeah?
No, just kidding. I had like a business meeting, and I wanted to look, like I'm a decent, reliable human, but my pink hair will come back soon.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw you with red, and I was like, "Is she change? Is she like? Is she changing her colors?" like,
No, 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 pink forever.
awesome. I love that. Um, if any of my fans would like to buy any merch of yours or your school, is there anywhere they could find anything of yours or your like any merch for the school to
Yeah,
support you guys?
yeah. So yeah, we have like Jazzy Gabert merch, but also Zero Sports Entertainment, and you can find it on slwrestling.de. I think it's a German market. But I also have T-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees. So if you
Hmm.
guys want to support me, that would be so awesome.
Yes. I love helping the wrestlers with their like. I know people in Australia they have Red Dot. That's like this the website that they get their merch and they buy these other merch. I liked helping support you guys 100% because
Thank you.
if
Thank
it
you so
wasn't
much.
for you guys, we wouldn't have anything to watch. You know what I mean? Like independent wrestling for me, it is like my go to. I live in the little area in the Pennsylvania. I live in the Poconos, and like sometimes we
Hmm.
don't get wrestling here. It's hard. But
Okay.
my closing question for you:
Mm.
if you could write a letter to a young Jazzy, what would it say in that letter?
Okay, so maybe it's like not just an advice for me because I'm old and we cannot drive back to the past, but maybe for the young wrestlers, okay? Don't kill yourself in the indies. Like, don't make this mistake. Don't drop yourself on the head, on the neck, and don't do crazy, stupid things for 20 or even 100. Even 500 is not enough. Like, really make a long career, like, yeah, it's fun, and the O's and the holy shit, it makes so much fun, but long term you need to think about your body. And maybe just like me, I got signed very late. I was already like 15. 17 years in the business. I went to Japan. I got many, many drop kicks on my back. And
Ooh.
then finally, when I signed my contract, I found that my neck was so bad. I had surgery and stuff. And now, like I cannot live my WWE dream because everyone, like I think that every wrestler want to go there, right? Or make at least a good money in the big leagues, AEW, WWE. But if you ruin your body, like, you will have a short career. So please watch out. Like, don't do crazy stuff. Entertain the fans, but also think about your body, because even if we think when we're young that we're undestructible, we are eventually, and in the long term it's just not freaking worth it. So make the best out of the career, entertain the fans, and don't drop yourself on the head.
Awesome. Jazzy, I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It really means a lot to have an awesome, like, beacon of light that is showing the future of independent wrestling, like how to properly move and how to properly do everything. You're awesome, and I want to wish you nothing but the best of luck. Tell your students, the Joe Panther the Third says, when they're all ready, and they had all their matches ready to go, please tell them to contact me. I would love to have them all on because I love
Thank you so
helping
much.
young
Thank you.
promoters, wrestlers, everybody to come do the podcast. I am Joe Panther the Third. You can find me here on the Joe Panther Variety Show and also on Instagram under Dudes at Ringside. How can my fans find you?
I'm most active on Instagram, so go to Jazzy Gabert, and yeah, get in touch with me, write me, whatever. I'm here. I'm free to chat. If you need any advice or anything, just hit me up. Okay, I'm a very open-minded person, and I love to connect with the community. So yeah, say hi.
Thank you, Jazzy. I'm Joe Panther the Third, and this is
I'm Jazzy Gabert.
and we will catch you in the next one.
Yes. Bye.